So the big story I want to go over. I know ErrickDebunks and I actually already covered this, but it hasn't been released yet. I'll edit it together at some point. But I want to go over it on my own because this story needs out there more. So if you remember a couple weeks ago, um, it was released that Disney was pulling a trans storyline from Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. It's apparently a character that was in there. It was always meant to be a trans character, but the episode that kind of revealed that she would be trans got pulled. And Disney said, and according to the people who ran the series, it was pulled because Disney said pull it. But according to Disney, they're like, oh, we pulled it a while ago. It has nothing to do with recent politics. Nothing to do with recent politics. And I called bullshit on that, even though there's a small part of me that said, maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe it was just pulled a while ago and it's just a coincidence. Well, guess what? Now we got a brand new story. Disney pulls transgender storyline from Pixar's Win or Lose streaming series. The original animated show about co-ed high school team debuts on Disney Plus in February. Pixar's original animated series Win or Lose will no longer include a transgender storyline in a later episode, the Hollywood Reporter has learned. The series follows a co-ed middle school softball team named the Pickles in the week leading up to their championship game. Each of the 8 episodes center on the off-the-field life of a character and their point of view, whether it be a player, a parent, a coach, or an umpire. A spokesman for Disney confirmed that the story arc was removed and provided the following statement to Hollywood Reporter. When it comes to animated content for younger audiences, we recognize that many parents would prefer to discuss certain subjects with their children on their own timeline. That line is like fucking Chud 101. Listen, man, you aren't going to sound like a bigot if you just say this line. And I'm going to tell you guys, as a parent, if you feel like just seeing a TV show about like a trans character or a gay character is going to suddenly set off your child, then have a conversation. Like, if you're even possibly concerned about that, then have that conversation with your kid. Don't be afraid to have a conversation with your kid too. That's a big thing. As a parent, I have to tell. I cannot recommend other parents talk to your kids. The character remains in the show, but a few lines of dialogue that reference gender identity are being removed. A source close to Win or Lose said the studio made the decision to alter course several months ago. Bullshit. Yeah, no, I'm sure they made all this decision a couple months ago, and it has nothing to do with the recent election. Nothing to do with the recent election. Disney declined to comment any further details. It's not the first time the company has come under scrutiny for LGBTQ plus stories, particularly regarding its animated content. In 2022, controversy erupted both inside and outside Disney following former CPO Bob Chapek's much criticized response to Florida's Don't Say Gay bill. In June of that year, Pixar's Lightyear included a same-gender relationship and kiss, which also sparked controversy. Disney's animated Strange New World featured an openly gay lead character. Opened several months later. Both films performed domestically or overseas, earning just 226 million and 73 million, respectively, at the global box office. It's worth talking about. Strange World was always meant to be a streaming movie, and they decided to release it to theaters, but it was always pretty much intended to be a streaming movie. In fact, I think it was released to streaming soon after it went to theaters, like very soon. LGBTQ plus content faces challenges in certain international markets where a country may impose more restrictive age ratings or ban the content altogether. Gender identity has become a charged and divisive topic across the United States, especially around the youth and sports. Most recently, Disney Channel's animated series Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur made it headlines. Yeah, we already talked to that a bit. Let's dive into. Let's see if I can find a bit more into this. Because there was an update. Win or Lose, transgender actress speaks out after Disney cuts her storyline. Very disheartening. And In 2020, Chanel Stewart was scrolling through X when it's Twitter. I don't know. Don't call it X. It's Twitter. Elon Musk cannot dead names his own daughter. It's Twitter. When she happened upon a post about how Pixar was looking for an authentic 14-year-old transgender girl to voice a transgender teenager in a new animated series. Stewart, who was 14, had already logged a few commercials, knew instantly that was her role of a lifetime. I was exactly what they wanted to a T. That's why it felt so right. It felt so right, says Stewart, who is a transgender girl from Los Angeles. I immediately asked my mom if I could do it because I felt like if I don't do this, it won't make sense. You know what I mean. Stewart eventually scored the voiceover job in Win or Lose, which revolves around a co-ed softball team in the middle school named Pickles in the week leading up to their big championship game. Stewart couldn't wait to share the news with her friends. Oh my God, it's crazy, the now 18-year-old recalls. I wore it as a badge. I wore it with pride. I wore it with honor because it meant so much to me. The thought of authentically portraying a transgender teenage girl made me really happy. I wanted to make this for transgender kids like me. So when Disney called Monday night to tell her mom, Kesha, that Win or Lose would no longer include a transgender storyline, both she and Chanel were heartsick. Disney released a statement that said, when it comes to animated content for younger audiences, we recognize that both, yeah, we already read that. Pretty fucking shitty. It was upsetting because my daughter is transgender. This is her life. I felt like it was very important that we not hide that fact, Stewart's mom, Kesha, tells Deadline. There may be some parents out there who are not ready to have that conversation, but this is the world we live in. Everyone should be represented. Everyone deserves to be recognized. It felt like it was just another setback for the LGBTQ community because it's very hard on transgender teenagers, transgender people, period, especially when you're young and you're trying to figure out how to navigate this world that you live in and be able to grow into your own person. I was very disheartened at Stewart. The moment I got the script, I was excited. I would share my journey and help empower other trans youth. I knew this would be a very important conversation. Trans stories matter and they deserve to be heard. By cutting the transgender storyline, Disney eliminated a few lines of dialogue from an episode that referenced the character's gender identity. Stewart was not at liberty to share the details of Deadline about her character, but was told by Disney that she's a part of the show, that she's still a part of the show heavily. It's just that my character would now be a cis girl, a straight cis girl, says Chanel, who is rep by KEY Talent Management and Innovation Artist. So yeah, that's all they really told me, that I'm still a part of the show. But there's one thing that Disney can't take away from Stewart. I'm definitely one of the first transgender girls to do this, says Stewart in her voiceover gig. It's a true honor to be part of queer legacy. So yeah, that's pretty shitty. So yeah, in light of the recent election, Disney is doing some self-censorship. This is rainbow capitalism yet again. They're concerned it's not going to make them the money. So listen, the reason why they and everybody's like, oh my God, they were pushing the gay agenda. I can't stress this enough. There's not that many like characters I'd count as queer, and I'm using queer as like an umbrella term to encompass all the LGBTQ plus community. There's not that much queer representation in Disney. There really fucking isn't. You get like an odd character, a 2-second kiss here. It's not that fucking much. And of course, you get the chuds blowing up at every moment of it, which is really frustrating. But now we got Disney saying, "Oh, the little bit we have, yeah, we're not even gonna do that anymore. We're just gonna push that away. We're gonna sweep it under the rug and pretend like we're never doing it." It is super fucking shitty. Disney's a company. They're in it for the money. And when you're dealing with like people who actually have civil rights issues, I'm sorry, doing it for the money is just not fucking good enough. You have to actually stand by like actual representation, which Disney clearly is not. It's one of those things where it's like, I support There's lots of really talented artists that work under Disney, and I support them, and I hope they do good work going forward. But fuck Disney. Fuck Disney. But fuck Bob Iger. Just fuck that corporation. They're a piece of shit corporation, flat out. Um, and I just thought it was really important to talk about that story.
Books, records, films, these things matter. Call me shallow. It's the fucking truth.